Hey everyone, it is Monday evening, weather for Weather Geeks time. It's been a busy day in the weather office today. It's been a very muggy day, and as expected, a pretty stormy afternoon. Things are quieting down some this evening. I'll have a full recap of what happened today and what will happen in the future, but I wanted to start out this evening, since this is weather for Weather Geeks. In case you missed my geeky post over the weekend, hey, I got a new weather station at my place. I now have two weather stations. On the right here, this is the Davis Vantage View. It's a weather station I've had for about 8 years. Davis is a fantastic company that makes really sturdy, reliable weather stations. This thing could last me 20 years. I've had it for about 8. The one on the left here is my brand new one. This is made by a company called Weatherflow. It's the model is the Tempest. And it's different looking than most weather stations that you've probably seen. It's a much simplified weather station with no moving parts. No moving parts is nice because it reduces your chance of something happening, something breaking. Anytime you have any sort of machine with moving parts, chances are at some point you may have to replace a part or something's going to go wrong. With the Tempest, there are no moving parts. Now, how does this work? There's no physical rain gauge. Typically, a rain gauge, in most weather stations, there's a little mechanism inside the cylinder called a tipping bucket. And once that little tiny bucket fills with water, it tips over, and the rain is measured by how many times that bucket tips over. With the Tempest, there's a kind of a plate, a haptic plate on top of this, and when raindrops hit that thing, it's able to ascertain how big are the raindrops, how frequent are the raindrops hitting that plate, and therefore it's able to do some calculations and tell you how much rain fell. Wind speeds are measured by something I don't totally understand, but typically in a weather station you have these kind of cups that catch the wind and go around. You got your flag down here at the bottom that shows the wind direction. The new Tempest has none of that. Now, honestly, I'm going to kind of miss the cups. I enjoy when it gets windy watching the cups go around. You're not going to see that with the Tempest. I really think that this is the kind of the wave of the future here. Simplified, no moving parts weather stations. This thing is fantastic. I've had it for 2 days, and today was the first day it got exposed to some actual weather. So here's a look at the current observations from my weather station. I'm in southern Columbiana County now, and it's cooled down, certainly, after a high of 92 earlier on. I now have 71.8. Notice it has a lightning detector, which is awesome, considering we've had a lot of lightning this afternoon. It's been detecting, it can detect lightning up to 30 miles away, and we saw some evidence of that today. This graph shows all the lightning my weather station picked up on today. And starting at around 4:30 up in Mahoning County, 25 miles away, started to see some lightning being picked up. And then finally the storms got down into southern Columbiana County around 6:15, 6:30, and more nearby lightning, only a couple of miles away, and even right overhead, was picked up with those storms right around 6:30 this evening. I've been real curious about the accuracy of that haptic rain gauge. 0.5 is what my station has measured so far today. And my Davis, right next door, has measured 0.53. So it's pretty close. And I'm going to be curious in future rain events just how close those two very different ways of measuring rain compare. All right, let's get on to what happened today other than my geeky stuff with my new weather station. Again, really cool to actually have some weather occurring at my station after a pretty quiet weekend. Dew points went through the roof today in the lower 70s this afternoon. It was super soupy. It's still very humid this evening, but of course we have rain-cooled air, thankfully. So the heat index today peaked before the showers and storms got going at the airport, 95 degrees at noon 1 and 2. Not quite heat advisory criteria, but one of the more uncomfortable days of the summer season so far. I wanted to actually, before we get down there, I wanted to go up and show you where the heaviest of the rain today in the areas that have the flood advisory still in effect for a little while this evening, even though the heavy rain is gone. Here at our downtown studios, we did have about 1.5 inches at our rain gauge here, so these radar estimates are pretty spot on in northern Mahoning County. Over in Mercer County, 2 inches plus. Over towards Austintown and down 11 towards Canfield and Ellsworth, 1.5 inches, pretty good bet down there. And radar estimates, again, down in southern Columbiana County, where we do need the rain. Pretty impressive stuff down here. Again, at my station, I measured about 0.5 inch. Some radar estimates here down towards West Point and down towards Glenmore, Calcutta. Yeah, 0.5 inch or so, 3/4 inch maybe in some spots. Needed rain, that is for sure. We've had some isolated reports of Some minor wind damage here and there today. I saw one report up in Champion and Trumbull County. This was called into the Weather Service over in Lawrence County. Of a few trees and power lines down southeast of Newcastle at about 5:30 this evening. Radar Loop shows how things progressed today. It got pretty busy today. These were heavy rain producers, of course, with that very soupy air mass in place, a very efficient way to squeeze out a lot of rain, a lot of lightning, and some pockets of gusty wind. Overall, the severe weather threat. And when we're talking severe weather in the traditional sense, damaging winds, large hail, that was pretty low. But again, we had a couple of isolated instances of wind problems. Look at those lower dew points to our north and west. That's what's coming our way as we go into the day tomorrow. In the meantime, we did hit 90 today, 95 at Akron, 92 Pittsburgh. Here at the Youngstown Warren Airport, it was our 11th 90-degree day of the season, putting us on par with where we were last year and in 2011. The top marks so far this century were in 2012 and 2018. We had 18 90-degree days both of those summers. All right, in the wake of this front, a much, much nicer afternoon tomorrow. Any showers will be gone by about daybreak. If you're an early morning riser, you might still encounter a shower at 5 to 6:30 a.m. After that, skies will clear, dew points will drop. It's going to be fantastic second half of the day. Now, we have inserted the chance for a shower or a thunderstorm in the forecast for Wednesday afternoon with a weak front approaching from the north and west. This front is, as most fronts are at this time of the year, pretty weak, but it may be enough to spark a shower or a storm, and then pretty benign weather for Thursday and Friday behind that front. Whoosh, there go the high dew points. By midday and afternoon tomorrow, instead of dew points near 70, dew points will end up in the 50s in most spots. It's going to be a great summer evening for Tuesday evening. And actually, once the drier air pushes in, it's here to stay for the rest of the week. And maybe even into the first day of August, coming up on Saturday, then we may see more moisture-laden air returning for Sunday and for Monday. I don't see a 90-degree day coming back anytime real soon, actually, because the pattern as we go into the first week or so of August favors a big ridge of high pressure out in the western U.S., centered over the Four Corners region, and generally troughing in the east. Now, this isn't going to produce abnormal cool weather or anything like that, but it's going to keep the heat at bay. So I don't see very good chances of 90s coming our way through at least the first week of August. You see that reflected in the CPC 8 to 14 day outlook today, showing the heat out west. Northern tier of states probably warmer than average as well. Around here doesn't look so bad. So if you are not a fan of your utility bills lately with the air conditioners blasting, things are looking a little more favorable, I think, for the last handful of days of July and the first week of August. Beyond that, I've seen some rumblings in the longer range, some of the longer range experts in the weather enterprise suggesting that the heat is likely to come back beyond the first week of August, but at least through the first week of August, hey, not so bad. All right, thanks for watching an extended edition of Weather for Weather Geeks on this Monday evening. I'll see you back here on Tuesday.